Good morning. Welcome to another vlog. I need to make another cup. I can feel it already. That's not gonna be enough. Anyway, how are you guys this morning? I am sitting here just like bursting to share some news with you guys. I am so thrilled. I'm so excited. And so many of you have been commenting and asking about this and just requesting, if you will, requesting this. But if you guys remember, and I can't believe how long ago it's been now, but it's been about a year and a half, almost 2 years, since my very good friend Laura helped me with my business. Now, she lives outside of Atlanta, so she's not near me. So she was helping me with stuff that she could, that she could do basically just any kind of computer work or whatever. I would send her things occasionally. She would help me out with that. Whatever. Anyway, she had always worked in corporate America. She is like an executive assistant, office manager. That's her thing. She just loves like helping people. Her mission statement basically is like, I just want to make your life easier for you. She is an absolute angel and gem, as you guys know. So anyway, she was in corporate America, hated it. What's new? Don't blame her. And started working for me. And then she thought, I should probably go back to corporate America. She was missing the benefits, like all that kind of stuff. Totally get. So she started looking or whatever and just, had some, whatever. Anyway, long story short, she is back with me. She's back with me. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And it's funny because of course, we had a call and she was like, what would you like me to help you with first? And I was like, well, let's just start with, a few things that I remember her doing and then we can like grow from there or just see what happens. And so I was just kind of like throwing stuff at her that again, I remember her doing, but I forgot how long ago that was. It felt like just a couple months ago. It felt like earlier this year, but it was, like I said, like a year and a half ago, like I skipped a year in there. So anyway, she was like, wow, like this is incredible. It's all coming back to me, but it's going to take me some time. And I was like, oh my God, of course. Like I just forgot how much time had passed. What's going on? Time really is speeding up. So anyway, I wanted to share that good news. And we're trying to figure out whether it makes sense for her to come out during Mishmas. Of course, I think it does. But I don't want to take her away from her family. She's got 2 dogs, and a husband or whatever. I don't want to take her away from them needlessly. But we're figuring that out. And so hopefully she'll be out here for Mishmas. And I know you guys would love to see her. I'm also trying to figure out, as you guys know, I have that podcast now that I started with my friend Sarah. And I met Sarah through Laura. Laura worked at a hedge fund where Sarah was engaged to the CFO of that hedge fund. So they kind of met up in the office there whenever Sarah would visit. They became, fast, great friends, best friends or whatever. And so I met Sarah through Laura. So anyway, I'm trying to figure out if I can somehow, or we can somehow wrangle like Sarah to come out the same time Laura comes out, because then we can actually record a podcast, like all 3 of us together, which I think would be a hoot, an absolute hoot. But December is just such a busy time. I know for Sarah, she's going to be traveling with her family, whatever. But the only time it really makes sense for Laura to come out is in December to help me with such a busy time. So whatever, we're trying to figure it out. I'm sure we'll if not this time, then maybe another time in the future. But that's another update that I want to share with you guys. So I started this podcast with my friend Sarah, Talk Shit and Laugh. And, our mission, our goal for that was basically to keep women in this time of our lives, 40s, 50s, 60s, or whenever, to help them if they're feeling lonely, if they're feeling vulnerable, if they're feeling like they just don't have any friends. Because women, unfortunately, sacrifice so much of their lives, raising children, getting married, trying to juggle family and career, whatever, that the first thing that I think kind of falls to the wayside is, well, one, caring for themselves. And a result of that is sort of letting go of a lot of friendships, or just not being able to maintain, not having the time or the energy to maintain really meaningful personal relationships to them that are kind of outside of their family. And, it was a trend that Sarah and I saw, on YouTube, or Sarah is a business coach for women. And a lot of women basically, like, once they're empty nesters or once their kids become more independent, they realize, oh my God, I don't have a career. I don't have friends. What's going on? So she helps a lot of women in that way. Not all of her clients are like that, but a lot of them. So she saw trends like that. I saw that trend on YouTube. So that was kind of the point of our podcast. And, just to, like, literally sit around and talk shit and laugh. And what we really wanted to stay away from was like a teaching aspect. There's so much like self-help guru type stuff on social media. Your perfect morning routine, do this if you want to be successful, stop doing this if you want to change your life, eat 5,000 grams of protein every day. Just like really just a lot of directives, a lot of information, helpful, but it's overwhelming. And I feel like in this day and age, we just can't escape it between our phones or televisions, everyone talking about it. So we really wanted to create a space where we're not teaching you anything. We're just sharing. It's just light. It really is just like sitting around and talking and just chatting. Nothing about like self-help or betterment of your life. We really wanted to stay away from that. So anyway, all of that to say is we are now monetized on YouTube, which I just got chills, because it's not that easy. You have to get a certain amount of watch hours. You have to upload in a consistent way. And you have to reach a certain number of subscribers to actually get monetized on YouTube. So that was like one of our, look, this is definitely a passion project. Neither Sarah nor I kind of set out with this podcast in mind to like make money. It really was just both of us, really just a passion project. We just wanted to be able to, just like hang out. It really kind of gave us an excuse to just like hang out with each other, which of course we love. And, we value our friendships so much. We have such a great circle of friends. And it was so sad for us to hear that other women don't have this, that other women at this age, which I'm sorry, it's a point in women's lives where it feels like you kind of have like a fresh new start at life. It can be, I think a lot of media kind of paints this like late 40s, early 50s time of life as something really horrible. It's aging. And there's a lot of challenges. I am not going to lie. I've talked about perimenopause and the symptoms, but it's also a time where I feel like we are almost like ascending all of the bullshit that we had to deal with in our lives previously, all of the anxieties, all of the hangups, all of the insecurities that we had. They just seem smaller. They seem a little bit smaller. And anyway, we really wanted to kind of like lean into that. And again, so it's just like a passion project for us. We have no like thoughts or ideas of it being this like huge money maker. So when we got monetized on the channel, like I got a notification on YouTube and I was like, what, really? Oh my gosh. So anyway, thank you guys so much. So because I know many of you from, watching me have gone over to YouTube to watch that podcast. So I just appreciate you guys so much. And we've gotten such great comments, and just appreciate you so much. So thank you. I wanted to mention that as well. So, okay. So Lara, the podcast, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, I wanted to talk about my side venture. So, I talked about this when I was in New York. So this was like the beginning of September. Well, I filmed that video when I was still in New York, but I think maybe it went up when I was still here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I announced that I was partnering up with my friend. Gosh, it's a different Sarah. I have so many Sarahs in my life. We'll call her Plucky Sarah, where I've partnered up with Plucky Sarah, who is a woman that you guys saw in my New York City vlog back from January. She's always been a good friend of mine. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with that whole long story, but she has bought back her company, which she had to sell. Again, long story. And that is a yarn company. And when I was a hand knitwear designer, which was before my life on YouTube, my last job was with her. I was the design director for this yarn company. So I announced that I was like partnering with her. She bought back the company. I bought into it. I'm a minority partner in it, but I am a partner nonetheless. And so I was just talking about how excited I was and I'm back and whatever. And I'm not leaving YouTube or anything like that. But it's, I was kind of talking from the place that so many of you not only knew that about me, but also know anything about the knitting world and the yarn world. And of course, so many of you don't. So I did get, a few questions about like, wait, what is that? What does that mean? What are you talking about? So I just wanted to share just a little bit of background and also share what Plucky Knitter is. So I used to be a hand knitwear designer. So what I would do was design patterns using hand knitting yarn. So yarn that you would use to actually knit, if you were a knitter, that you would knit. And so companies, of course, like designs in their yarn to sell the yarn. So that was sort of the purpose for a hand knitwear designer in the yarn world. It was to push the yarn. There's so many different ways that you can work in that capacity. Generally, you're just a freelance designer. Yarn companies will approach you and ask you, maybe commission a design from you. You can work with them in that way. Or you can just, get yarn, ask them to send you yarn. You can create a design and write up a pattern and sell that pattern. So that's the end result of a design in the hand knitting world is a pattern that knitters can follow. That's the end result. And that's what the designer is actually selling at the end of the day is basically this design that you can make yourself. So it's a very different world and process from a regular knitwear designer that you would think, someone that designs knits for like J. Crew or Everlane or Quince. Like that's a very different process and I guess and skill set, because someone who is designing knitwear for production doesn't necessarily need to know how to knit. I have to know how to knit. And that's where most knitwear designers start, is that they're knitters and then they're like, oh, well, I need to tweak this, or I just knit up this whole sweater and I would have done this differently or whatever. And then you start kind of designing your own patterns by like tweaking or whatever. Generally, that is what I used to do. I was a knitwear designer and that's, I would sell patterns. I would work with companies. I've been, published. I have a book of patterns. When I started doing YouTube is so all consuming that I left like the knitting world and it was just all about like YouTube and beauty, which is fantastic. I mean, it's like what I wanted. And I left the knitting world. And so I've been absent from the knitting world about 6 years, more than 6 years. And kind of revisiting it again has been really, really amazing. And to answer your questions about what it is I'm doing now and what is Plucky Knitter. So Plucky Knitter is a hand-dyed yarn company. This is a very popular concept in the hand knitting world, is all of the yarns that Plucky Knitter sells is actually hand-dyed. So that is what Sarah does. We're based in Michigan, and that's what Sarah does. We have a big facility there with pots and pots and pots of dye. And she takes like yarn, they're called blanks, but there's like no dye on them whatsoever. And she actually dyes them. So with Sarah and, I contribute a little bit, but this is where she really, really shines. And if you know anything about Plucky Sarah, she is just loves color, and she started this company because she couldn't find not only like colors that she really loved, but she couldn't find yarn that she really, really loved. So, gosh, please fast forward if you are just not interested in any of this. But I just wanted to answer your questions about this because I know this is an unusual world for someone who doesn't knit or is like unfamiliar with the knitting world. Generally, what hand dyers do is they buy these blank yarns. They buy a whole bunch and then they dye them up in different colors, right? Great. But the difference with Pkwy, and a lot of, not all, because a lot of yarn companies do this also, but what yarn mills can do is they'll just spin up a whole bunch of these like undyed yarn for hand dyers. But these yarns themselves aren't necessarily very special or unique, shall we say. They're great yarns, beautiful, lovely, soft, squishy, nice to work with, all the things, but they're not necessarily unique. And so that was something Sarah, when she had Pkwy back in the day, that was what she really wanted to do, was like to have different yarns that she could dye up. And so I think that's where we really connected, because I love, and you probably can get a sense of this when I'm talking about like my fashion hauls and stuff, is that I love, love, love textiles and fiber. And I am pretty knowledgeable in that. Like, you become pretty knowledgeable in that just as a result of knitting. You spend so much time with fiber. You start like getting into fiber content. You start learning about like, well, how does that fiber act when I work it up into a fabric? So it's just like a passion of ours, me and Sarah's. It's definitely like, she loves color and all that, and I do too, absolutely. But that's like her jam. I feel like where we come together is the developing of these yarn bases. So that's what Pkwy Knitter is known for, our company. It's really known for developing and creating these exclusive yarns that are very, very different from other yarns that you'll see on the market in terms of like hand-dyed yarns. So we create these yarn combos. We love cashmere, so we'll have like a cashmere yarn. These mills will spin them up for us exclusively, so they're not sold to any other hand dyers or whatever, or not even sold on the market. And then what we do in Michigan is we dye them up and then we sell them. That is the business, is these exclusive yarn bases, hand dyed, and then that's what we're selling to our customers, is the actual yarn. And they're knitters, of course. We do get some fiber artists as well, but I would say the majority of our customers obviously are knitters or crocheters, a fiber artist of some kind. So that is, in a nutshell, what we do at Pkwy Knitter. So I hope that's clear. It's just been so gratifying to get back into this world and to work with my hands. This is something I love to do, is work with my hands. And that was one thing that I really loved about beauty, was like the whole painting my face and all of that. Even like the idea of swatching, like I love swatching. I just love doing anything with my hands. I'm very, very tactile, which is probably what attracted me to knitting, in the first place. So, let me show you the project that I'm working on. So I am knitting a cardigan. So this is the fronts. We've got the sleeves, which I have to work later. And then, so I'm knitting it top down from the neck down. So this is the body. So I'm just going back and forth. It's a very simple knit. There's no like patterning in there, like no cabling, no open like lace work, no color work. It's just one color. And this is just straight up. This is called a stockinette stitch. So it's just flattening. I'm so sorry. It's coming in and out of focus because my camera can't really focus on a solid dark or solid white color. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on. And Sarah actually sent me a whole box of stuff. Again, if you're not interested in this stuff, I'm so sorry. Please just fast forward. But I know many of you are just like curious as to like what is even happening. But this is basically like what we sell. So this is a skein of yarn. And this is one of the very interesting bases that Sarah developed. It's a lace weight yarn. So it's very thin. And this is a Surrey alpaca. That's like the fluff in there. This has yak in there. So you can see all these different colors that we can dye up our yarn in. Here's another color. Isn't this color incredible? Sorry, she put Post-it notes in there for me. Isn't this color incredible? It's like the same color as my Prada t-shirt, but this is a new color that Sarah and the team over in Michigan developed. Isn't that so great? We also have some interesting stuff in development. So this is a possibility. You guys are getting a sneak peek here, but this is a boucle yarn. So you can see like different fibers take dye differently. So that's why you get this, the lighter color is silk. Silk takes a lot of dye. It just sucks it up. So if you, you know, look at any kind of like silk yarns, they're going to have a more like muted, unless it's really overly saturated, but you're going to get this kind of like muted look to the silk. And then the fluff is cashmere. I think it's a cashmere blend, but this is actually from Italy. So we're really excited for this, but I'm going to knit it up and just see what the resulting fabric looks like and see if this is something we want to move forward with. So that's my favorite part about this whole thing that I'm doing, is like getting these like yarn bases from these different companies, basically telling them like, look, we want to stick with like luxury fibers. That's sort of what Sarah and I love, of course, you know, cashmeres, yak, silks, really like fine grade merinos, things like that. And having like the mills like develop them for us. And, you know, the mills, there's actually a couple in the US that are fantastic. Of course, the mills in Italy are great, but sometimes we'll show them like a fabric that we love, even just a picture, or they'll show us some stuff and we're like, oh, we love that, but like maybe a little bit less hairy or a little bit smoother, or we want it like more fluffy. And then they can like, you know, tweak it and then they'll send it to us and then we'll play around with it and we'll be like, yeah, let's move forward with this one. So that's my favorite part of this whole process, is the base. I just love it so much. Like here is one that we just released. This is called Pkwy. And this is, hold on, where you guys, we've wound it up into a ball already. But it's so light. And when you knit this up into a fabric, it almost looks like a bumpy kind of like teddy bear fleece. So I'm going to try and figure out a like a pullover in that yarn, because I mean, so cushy. What I love about like hand knitting and hand knitting yarns is like the result, you can try and get it as close as possible to like a ready to wear piece, but it will always feel a little bit different. It will always feel, I think, like a little bit lighter and airier, because production yarn is really dense because they have to get it through the machines and stuff. So anyway, I'm getting into the weeds, but yeah, I just love like the development of the yarn bases. It's so much fun. So much fun. So that is a long and drawn out update on the knitting stuff, but I did want to answer your questions. I wasn't trying to be vague. Again, it's like I was talking about it like you all of you know. The knitting world, or what I did before. And of course you wouldn't. How would you? So, okay. So I think those are all of my big updates. Tonight, my husband and I are going to a brand new restaurant here. It's at, where is it at? The Venetian? I forget where it's at. It's at one of the big casinos on the Strip. Bellagio? No, I think it's at the Venetian. Anyway, it's called Kote. It is a Korean steakhouse, and they are Michelin rated. So I think they're the first Korean steakhouse or Korean food to be like Michelin recognized. And they have one here in Vegas, and it just opened up, I think just a few days ago. So I'm so excited. Got reservations. I think we're going at like 7:00 or something tonight. So we're doing that. And I'm definitely going to take you guys along. That's exciting. That's exciting. My husband loves Korean barbecue. I like Korean barbecue. I mean, it's a lot of meat. It's a lot, you know, you're barbecuing a lot of meat. So I have to be in the mood for it, but I do really enjoy it. You guys, I just finished filming a video using the new Hung Van Gogh makeup. I'm obsessed. I love it, love it. So I'm using the new Neutrals eyeshadow palette. It's so great. Sorry, Butters is being fed. It is so, it's just like the perfect level of pigmentation. I mentioned this in my video, which I think you guys will probably have seen already, but it's so nice. The blush, the bronze, everything is so nice. And then this lipstick, which is 88, like you guys know, a really pale nude can go really wrong really quickly. Like the whole concealer lip look, which I don't actually mind, but this has like just enough warmth. There's like a little bit of almost like a gold, like peachy tinge to it. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Anyway, loving this. But I am leaving right now. I have to go meet my mom for lunch and I'll be back later. Hello friends. I am up in my closet because I wanted to get ready for dinner. I'm running really, really late. I'm having a really frustrating afternoon. I just got an email that the hotel that I booked up the Hudson for when I'm gonna be in New York, whatever, I'm not gonna go into the whole backstory right now, but they just called and canceled the reservation because they were doing construction. I don't know if this is a new hotel and they're building it. Anyway, it's not gonna be ready, they canceled the reservation. Now, if you've ever tried to go up the Hudson during prime, like foliage season, which is basically October, and this is for mid-October, it is like impossible. So I just had to quick try and find another hotel room. I got like the last one at this Residence Inn, like 40 minutes away from where we were originally gonna stay. But that's the best I could do. I even looked on like VRBO and Airbnb. Everything is booked or everything is like excruciatingly expensive because it's high season there. So anyway, that was really annoying. And then I can't find my knitting needles. I can't find my knitting needles. They're all in this one case. And I'm like, what did I do with them? Did I leave them in Milan? I don't think I brought them there. I just checked like all my bags, like everywhere. And you know when you lose something, it's like you're just constantly gaslighting yourself when you lose something. Like, did I bring it there? No, I didn't bring it. Like, you're just questioning yourself. So anyway, still can't find them. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's a whole knitting needle set. They're very expensive. I don't have time to I'm gonna have to, but if I order another set, I don't even know if it'll come before I have to leave for New York, whatever. So annoying. And then I wanted to make a reel, and I know I'm wasting time explaining all this to you right now, but I wanted to make an Instagram reel, and there was like this cool, one of those like visual magic tricks that you could do with some like simple editing, whatever. They're all over Instagram, and I save them. And I'm constantly saving all of these like random reels with like tips and stuff. So I'm like, okay, let me try and do that right now. So I cannot find the saved reel. And of course I go and I like try and search for it. I'm not gonna find it. I'm not gonna find it on Instagram. So now I'm pissed off at that. I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed today. Anyway, I have to get excited for dinner because I have been looking forward to this dinner, this Korean barbecue. I'm very, very excited. And you know what's funny is I had lunch with my mom and she had a craving for like fast food chicken sandwich. So we went to McDonald's and my stomach isn't upset. My stomach, oddly enough, strangely enough, does not get upset when I eat fast food. Handles it fine. Go figure. However, I'm like still really full. Maybe because I don't have fast food very often at all anymore, but it's like sitting just like a brick in my stomach, like not full. I usually eat every 3 to 4 hours. Normally I would be starving because I didn't have like a mid-afternoon snack. No, still full. So really, really poor timing in terms of this Korean barbecue steakhouse that we're going to tonight. But anyway, let me shut up, get dressed, and I don't even think I'll have time to freshen up my makeup. Thank God that Hung Van Gogh makeup is kind of still hanging on. Maybe I can just bring some lipstick with me. But let me get dressed and I'll be right back. Okay, so I threw on my We Are For cropped blazer. I love this, and I loved seeing those boxy cropped blazers on the Chanel runway. I was like, yes. It was the first look that came out, and it was with like low slung pants that actually kind of reminded me of my Prada pants. And I was like, oh, I'm loving this. Okay, anyway, so this is the Wear For cropped blazer. And then I just put on my Rudy skirt, which is fairly long. I've got my Alaya flats with the gold hardware in the front. And then I have my Loewe bracelet bag, an oldie but goodie. And, you know, this skirt was just perfect because elastic waist. And if you guys have been here for a while, you guys know about steak pants. Well, we've got a steak skirt on tonight. So we are ready for the steakhouse. Hello, everyone. We are back from, it's Kote. I was calling it Kote. It is Kote Korean Steakhouse. And it's so funny because my husband and I, we agreed on all the thoughts that we had about our experience. So this restaurant, there's a location in New York, and that location is, I think, has a Michelin star. So we had really high expectations. So I'll start there. Our expectations were like sky high for this restaurant. And what I wasn't expecting was that it was like a club inside. There was a DJ. It was very loud. And it was it was just a loud crowd, a loud restaurant, all of that. I was like, okay. I wasn't expecting that, but okay. I can get past that. And then it's Korean barbecue. So there's a barbecue situation like in the middle of your table or whatever. So already it's going to feel very different from, like a French fine dining establishment. So, I got past all of that or whatever. The food that we basically got the omakase, and it was a lot of food. The food was really delicious, but there was just something off. And I just want to share these thoughts with you. I'm not, I'm so happy that restaurants like this come to Vegas. I'm so happy that my husband and I can go and enjoy them, grateful for the experience or whatever. I just want to share with you that I don't think that this location is Michelin starred, would even be Michelin mentioned or rated or anything. The A5 Wagyu that we had was very good. That was like the last cut that we had. That scallion salad that kind of looked like a coleslaw. Very, very good, very unique. And then some of the dishes here and there. The whole experience, it wasn't on point. It wasn't on point. Like the staff, very nice, but not tight. It just wasn't a really memorable and incredible kind of dining experience. But it was very good. And I think if I had just heard that like the food was great at this place, it's a new, Korean barbecue steakhouse, I think I would have been fine. I think maybe it was that my expectations were so high, being that, I had heard that it was Michelin starred. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because I know when I talk about going out in the restaurants, on the strip or whatever, so many of you ask because you come to Vegas, you visit, and you want to know where to go and all of that. I wouldn't necessarily like steer you away from this restaurant, but I would say it is average compared to a lot or most of the restaurants that you'll come across on the strip. I don't think it's a standout. So I did just want to mention that. So yeah, so I'm going to hit the sack, but I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. I am home from a walk. I did not have to see my trainer today. So thankful because I'm so tired. I'm so tired this morning. But I was on my walk and I thought, oh, I need to, or, when I get back, I need to just like sit down and figure out like a filming schedule, all the things. Really just kind of get myself organized, like up here and on the computer. And I walked into my office filming area and it is a disaster. I have that really bad habit of being able to kind of like block out my surroundings and just sort of like work on whatever's in front of me. And it's gotten really bad, really, really bad. So I thought, I don't know, maybe this could help as motivation. You could just put me on in the background, but I thought I would just film me just cleaning up, putting makeup away, just so much makeup to put away, and I put some music on over this, and you can just throw me on in the background.
Save me. Why won't you save me? You gave me your whole self. I gave you help. All you need is yourself. You don't need my help. No one's help. You don't need my help. All you need is yourself. You said that you can't trust a word that I've said, and I can't even burn it. I know that it's hard to forget what I've said, and I can't even burn it. You said you could live without me now. Don't know how to take it. Without you here, who would I become? I'm afraid of changing. But can't you see all the change I've made? All the change I've made. All the change I've made. And can't you see that the clouds were faced? That the clouds were faced. I gave you help. All you need is yourself. You don't need my help. No one's help. You don't need my help. All you need is yourself. You said that you can't trust a word that I've said, and I can't even burn it. I know that it's hard to forget what I've said, and I can't even burn it.
Well, I tidied up my room. I think using the word clean is an overstatement. As you saw, I just put all of that makeup away. I still have to wash my brushes. You guys, it always gets to the point though where I'm like, I can't even look at them. There's so many. And I just can't seem to get into the habit of just, using the 4 or 5 that I use every day and then just washing them. Like, I can't get into that habit. I don't know. Anyway, I did put away all of that makeup that was just sort of laying around. So that does feel good. And I showered, and now it's so funny. I don't know. Does this happen to you guys? Every time I shower, I get really relaxed after. It's not like an invigorating thing for me anymore. It used to be when I was younger. Now I feel like it really relaxes me, and then I'm kind of done for. I am done for. But anyway, I did get a couple packages in. This is kind of like a hangover from my Milan haul. So I had purchased this ring from Luna, and I actually got 2 of them because I just love the way it looked stacked up. And she had to size the other one. So she just mailed that over to me. So I'm about to open that, and I thought I would do that with you guys. I'm so excited. So we'll be able to see how this ring was like, at least in my mind, how it's meant to be worn. All wrapped up nice and tight. I'm so excited for this. I've been starting to dream about like different stones that I could put in a very similar setting because I just love it. I talked about it when I first got it, but it looks like tree roots. And I love that. Or vines. I really love that. Okay, here's the pouch. So here, let me show you. So here is this one that I've had, and it's a yellow gold. And this one is a yellow gold, but she put like a rhodium over it because I asked her because the two rings there were like yellow gold, and I was, we were just talking or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm like, that looks fine with like my rose gold. I don't think you can see like that much of a difference because Luna's rose gold isn't like super coppery. But we were talking and I was like, oh, maybe I would like a little something to it. So she put this rhodium plating on there, and it's gonna look, it will definitely wear off a little bit. Not wear off, it'll like age. It'll age a little bit and it's going to look a little bit more antiqued, but right now it's like brand spanking new. But let's just make sure the size is right. Oh yeah, much better. Yes, what do you guys think? So cool, right? I like that they look different. There's the two metals together. And I think it works with the rose gold. It like mixes everything together. And I think this next to the brownstone looks really good. It looks great next to the moonstone. Let me know what you guys think, but I really like the mixing of the metals there. God, they're so sparkly. Are my lights catching it? Probably not. Oh, so sparkly. I love them. I love them all. Thank you, Luna, for sending this over so quickly. I love it. Okay, so that is the second ring that I got at Luna's while I was over in Milan. And as you guys know, I was there for Prada. And I did get that Explore handbag, that crossbody Napa leather version in black. I've only worn it once so far since I've been back from Milan, and it was great. It was great, very handy. The Napa leather is so soft, super light. So I got that bag. I also got the shearling ballet flats. You guys seem to love those as much as I do, so that makes me really happy. So I did have like plenty of luggage space, but not that much. And the other thing that I was thinking about getting while I was over there were a pair of boots, and I just didn't want to get them there and then like have to travel back with them. So when I got home, I got them. Looks like Prada lining in there. Oh my God, what is this? Look at this little pouch. Oh my God, I love it. This is their Flames print. Oh, this was part of that, what, I'm thinking Hot Rod. Was that what the collection was called? Or what they referred to it as? Anyway, do you remember it had like the shoes, it had these flames on the back of the pumps? So cool. Oh, I love that. Here is the box. I love this elastic that they put around the box. It's not a ribbon. It's like so much easier to take off. So I did try these on. So if you did watch this vlog, or if you do follow me on Instagram, you will have seen these boots on my feet. But they are the perfect fall boot. And since I am going to New York soon, and then I'll be in Japan, and then I'm gonna be in Michigan, I thought these would be great. I love these so much. So in Milan, I'm pretty sure the size that I tried on was a 39, and they were a little big. They were definitely loose. But for like boots and sneakers, I'm usually a 39, even though in shoes, I'm like a 38, 38 and a half. So I decided to try the 38. So hopefully my memory is correct, and I was in fact wearing 39s while I was in Milan. Okay, I do not have the right jeans on for these boots, but yes, oh my God. They're a little bit loose, but I don't have socks on right now. Oh, I love these soles. They're not quite as high and don't make as much of a statement as the monolith Prada shoes. You know, they have the boots and they have like the loafers and stuff with that monolith sole. These are a little bit more of just like a workman sole at the bottom. I like that. Oh my gosh. Here's what they look like at the top here. So there's like a little bit of room. I love that look. They have a whole line of boots that have that like stretch leather, which looks very like Secret Agent, but that's not really my style. Like I love boots like this a lot more. Oh, and look at the antiquing on the leather. I love that detail. Let me put the other one on. Okay, here is the other one. Again, the wrong jeans for these. And I was wearing them with my Prada nylon skirt in Milan, and they looked so good with like a black skirt. It really made the brown pop. Oh, I love these. I love them so much. Here, I just wanted to show you some of these details close up. So here's the plaque. Here's that antique detailing that they've done on the toe and around the strap and the other seaming. And then here is like the lug sole, very hiking boot like. And what else can I share with you? Hardware's gold. And on the inside here, it's not lined or anything, I mean, it's just leather lined, but there are these pull tabs here on either side, which is nice. They're hidden away. So that's nice. And then the back, there's actually a little bit of a interesting back seaming detail. Isn't that cool? And more antiquing. Oh, and it says Prada there. I don't think I noticed that. I didn't notice that in Milan, but that's very subtle. So cool. I'm so glad I got these. These are going to be great. Great, great, great for the fall.